Juice WRLD has made thousands of unreleased songs. But what if you never heard a single one? No rental.
I told her ride it like a rental. It's just a rental.
No starstruck.
Our eyes locked. You can see the side.
No K like a Russian.
I get the kill like a Russian.
No leaks. No group buys. Nothing. Would his legacy be bigger? Or would it be completely different to what it is today? This is what if Juice WRLD had no leaks.
Way too many. Yeah, way too many.
First off, we have to start off with what leaks actually did. It built a second discography. It kept his name alive for years. Created a hardcore fan base that loves to hear every single new leak that drops. Even though on the surface it might look fine, this brought massive controversy. It ruined album surprises, had scamming incidents, and many other controversies that happened over the years surrounding Juice and his insane unreleased catalog. And you might be wondering, how does somebody get leaks in the first place? It all comes down to SIM swapping. I'm not gonna go crazy into it, because you didn't click on this video to see how a hacker actually gets these leaks. But essentially it's just SIM swapping off a producer's or a rapper's phone to get a hold of the files and selling it to the hardcore fan base to make money off of it. But anyway, let's get into what happens if we remove all that.
I see you in the dark. Yeah.
Having no leaks would mean a much smaller discography, less fan engagement, but albums would feel fresh. His legacy most likely would feel cleaner, but his fanbase would be less active due to nothing around new leaks. He'd still be extremely respected, but not constantly talked about. He might not have the same fanbase as he does now, with diehard fans who listen to every unreleased track and buy leaks. Group buys alone have been a huge thing in the Juice community. After his death, songs would go for thousands of dollars, some even going up to $30,000. And there has been over $2 million spent on Juice WRLD's leaks, so let's get into what if it never existed. Every new release would feel refreshing and different since we would have never heard these songs before. Nobody would complain about how it's been leaked for years. Albums would feel new and special. Leaks usually remove that feeling of a new song that you've never heard before, and albums might almost feel like events, but his versatility might have never been seen without the leaks we have today. Fans would think his sound is much more limited to what it actually was, because he was one of the most versatile artists, but we would have never knew that without the leaked tracks that we have today. Leaks have been keeping his name alive for the Juice community. Unreleased songs have become a culture in the Juice community and fans loved them. Without that, it would be a much smaller community. The hype would still be alive, but it wouldn't be the same. You'd still have diehard fans who enjoy his music, but nothing to go to when release feels bland or boring. You'd still be remembered, but unfortunately not in the same way. Leaked music has such a big fan base that wouldn't be the same if it never happened. But right now there's a really big divide between the hardcore Juice fans and casual listeners, are some fans who have never heard a single leak, and others who know and have listened to every single track. Without this, there would be no deep underground fan culture, and there would be no insane Discord servers based on leaks, like the Party Never Ends server, and many others alike. There would still be superfans, but just not in the same way. One big difference would be also, leaks show the label what people want out there. Without this, the music might be a bit different. That being said, the emotional connect might be weaker. Many leaks are very raw, hard-hitting, and unfiltered. So if we never heard that, we would have never seen that really dark side of Juice. Yeah, we would still have Goodbye and Good Riddance and Legends Never Die, and possibly even Fighting Demons, but still, it would be a lot different. Grade A has really not had the best track record over these past few years, and it seemed that many releases haven't felt genuine and the delays have been insane. But if there are no leaks, the label might actually have a much better reputation. Still, Grade A could find a way to fuck it up, but if they actually treated Juice's legacy properly in this timeline, the fans might actually show respect and appreciation to the label. But they need to actually take care with handling Juice's projects and be much more vocal with what they're doing. If they actually did that, they would still have insane respect from the fans. Instead of it feeling like the label is just dropping for money or milking his legacy, it would feel much more respectful, intentional, and planned without leaks getting in the way. Okay, so now, what if we didn't have no leaks, but just way less leaks? A more balanced timeline, where only the best of the best is shown. No mediocre leaks. Would this be better than what we have today? If we had just around 100 leaks, not the over 1,000 that we have today, it would be a perfect balance of hype and exclusivity. Leaks would still be prominent, but just not as overwhelming as it is today. This would still keep fans excited for new official releases, while still having talks about leaks. Even if there's much less leaks per year, albums would also still feel fresh, while maybe having some of the more fan favorite leaks on them. This would cause much less burnout in the fan base. At times, the insane amount of leaks can just feel overwhelming, but if we only had just 100-ish, leaks would feel much less overwhelming, especially for a newer fan who is trying to get into Unreleased. Realistically, we would only have 10% of the leaks we have today, and there would be a much lower chance of people leaking more mid songs from his vault. It would feel like every song is perfect. Everyone would still make lists, but it would be much harder to make a top 10 if every single one of those songs were all perfection. Fewer leaks would also mean a perfect middle ground, since there would still be mystery, hype, and quality control all behind it. The community would still exist, but feel much less chaotic. There would still be discussion about new songs every once in a while, and snippets posted online similar to how it is today, but not at the same scale. But this reality would not be too controlled, not too chaotic, just enough to feel special. So that leaves one question: which timeline would you choose? No leaks at all? A handful of leaks? Or just the one we're living in right now? Well, one thing you should take away from this video is Juice WRLD didn't leave behind thousands of songs. He left behind a legacy, but also left questions, some that won't ever be answered due to his unfortunate untimely demise. His legacy will still be remembered for decades. He didn't just make music and thousands of songs that had no meaning, but songs that speak to people on a personal level, connecting with so many fans in such a small time frame. That's something that no other artist has done to the same scale he has.
You know, when you a thinker, I'm the same way. You look for answers that you know you can't, it's like, you're not gonna be able to get. You know what I'm saying? It kind of drives you crazy. Because you feel like you should have these answers, but you don't. So you just try to think your way into a solution, but you can't find the answer. So, like, I think that's what life is about. Truly finding yourself. And then closing your eyes and dying in your sleep.